Nissan S13 200SX restoration, resurrection, recommissioning, whatever you want to call it, sprinkled with a bit of ADHD and OCD and all those kind of things. Still looks amazing now that everything's dried out after being left alone for a day. I've moved my sketchy wheel jack and bit of timber combination and put the car back on its wheels, or on the wheels on the chassis, and this is so I can slot in the subframe. Don't really want to use axle stands as well because I'm guessing it's still a bit soft with the undercoat thing, so I don't want to scratch it or anything like that, and it should be good on timbers. First thing, obviously, the fuel tank though, just so I can route the pipes and everything. It's going to be easier without the subframe. But the plan is for today, completely get everything assembled from sort of subframe back, and get the car maybe on its wheels. We'll see about that. So I can start making the brake lines, fuel lines. I'm still waiting for some fittings for fuel lines. Many hours later, it's still windy, but we have subframe on with some yellow accents. That bracket is in better condition than mine, and I thought, well, a bit of yellow won't hurt. So fuel tank is in, and all the pipes are ready to accept the copper pipes. Obviously didn't clean up these, someone else can do it afterwards. Now starting to put suspension back on, and the shock absorber is in. It's something I got with the car, but I think they're standard ride heights, which I'm not impressed with, but they're virtually new. So next up is entire unit here, which is actually, so all the arms and the hub is something I got with the car, but never tripped over. This was the brake assembly. I think must have had big brakes or something like that, so all the dust shield stuff has been cut. So I was able to just swap it over from my original hubs. And also, one of the reasons I changed the hubs is that these bushes, they look okay, but they're all original. And here, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but like all these bushes have been changed. Obviously that's on the arm, but yeah, all these bushes seem to have been changed, so I might as well just use this and yeah, have all new bushes. So I'm going to put that on and probably call that a day. I need to get a new tool for the brake lines because mine broke, but I have bent the brake lines and cut them to length and everything, so they're ready to go. I just need to do the fittings, which I do have here, just like I say, the flaring tool itself that I need. Do the fuel pipes tomorrow as well, hopefully, and then diff in, other suspension side in, drive shafts, and the wheels will be going back on. So good progress. It feels like I maybe could have achieved a bit more, but I've actually been at it for a full day, and yeah, just trying to find diagrams and everything of where stuff goes. I did take some pictures, but for clarification, the fuel tank was off when I got the car, and the pipes were all rotten to progress. So it's the following day here, and it got dark on me yesterday, so I didn't film an update. Both sides of suspension are pretty much in, so all the arms, all these arms have new bushes on them, which is nice. Obviously they don't look the best, but they're also not that crusty. So basically this is the original heat shields with the brake assembly, or the handbrake assembly, and the disc, and everything else is the spare parts I had with the car. All bolted up loosely. Still need to put the shock absorbers in, and I realised that the top mounts are not in the right place, so I need to adjust that essentially, but that's going to be a job for an evening. The lines, not the lines, the Handbrake cables are also in and fully bottomed up. And my tool for flaring brake pipes has broken, so I had to order a new one, and that's going to be here in a few days' time. And I thought, well, what can I do next? Because ideally I want to do the fuel lines and the brake lines before I put the diff in, because mainly it's the fuel lines because the access is going to be restricted, so I might as well do the lines first and, you know, save myself some aggro. So essentially, prep for putting an engine in. I took the gear linkage off, that was easy enough. And yeah, the engine is ready to go in. I cleaned up some of the wiring so it looks a bit neater. I had to repair one of the pipes, not the pipes, one of the wires for the alternator. But otherwise, yeah, everything's ready to go in, and yeah, gonna try my luck and try not to scratch anything and put the engine in. So the next clip yard, they're going to see me crying or being happy that the engine's in, or crying if I scratch something. Also, the clutch master cylinder is now in as well. Nice little new piece, looking fresh. Right, let's get this engine in. Many hours later, the engine is in. It's all bolted up. I've put radiator in, some of the intake pipes, shroud. Still have to do the viscous fan thing. Most of the wiring is in place. I fed the wiring through the bulkhead. Didn't have to take ABS pump in the end. That was good. A couple of brackets that hold the wiring loom there. I've just sandblasted them and waiting for them to dry. I painted them and waiting for them to dry. Used various clamps for holding the radiator in, but they're not what I prefer to use, but they're way better than the OEM Nissan stuff. But I just seem to not have any of this size apart from these, so here's what I have to do. Using BMW clamps where I can for intake pipes. So yeah, very good progress. A lot of stuff has been done. Very productive day, and I now need to think what to work on next. Obviously a few brackets gonna dry out, so I'm gonna put them in, but that's not much work. I did manage to get the shock absorbers in both sides, so that's all hunky-dory. 2 days have passed since the last clip, and a few things have been done. I haven't been too mega busy, but I've been trying to clean up some of the loose ends, and also I took a road trip to get some genuine used metal wings. Not in good shape, but not in a bad shape. They're mostly straight. There's obviously some repairs that need to be done around some of these sections. The front wing, or even the passenger side wing, is actually okay on this side, but it's rotten on around here, and I might be able to show you if I can get through this tiny little gap. Essentially this bottom section is replacing, but I might just do it on here. Nice straight cut, and I can reference that on both sides and just TIG weld this section from one of my spare wings. But for most part, they're just stuff like holes that have been drilled for side skirts and stuff like that. So again, those are going to be welded up and evened out. But for most part, the wings are the best set that I've seen, especially for the price. Interior has been slightly cleaned up. I just put all the interior bits inside of a box, and some sound deadening has gone into there where the original stuff is ripped, so that should hopefully make the car a bit quieter. Drive shafts are in, all the brake lines are now also done, which is a very good positive step forward. So all the new copper lines front to back, and it's all connected either side, so the fuel system is now actually complete. The brakes, all I'm waiting for is the braided lines, because these are actually no good, but I just used these to make sure that the brake lines, the copper ones, are in the right place. Brake pads have turned up, so the calipers are permanently bolted up. I can't do the fronts yet because the thread for the bolts needs cleaning up, and I've ordered the correct tap because I don't seem to have one. And yeah, it is moving in the right direction. One major thing I have to do is put the S13 or S15 diff in. It's a viscous LSD 3.692 ratio, which should be good for the manual conversion. So it is heavy, so I think I'm going to struggle to put in on my own. However, should be alright. Also, slight concerns or slight worry about the prop shaft, because I know this ABS and non-ABS props are different, but I'm sure my rear section is original off this car. So yeah, I spent a few hours trying to research it yesterday about the length, but then I remembered that I only bought the front section of the prop with the manual gearbox, so the rear section is all actually my original one, so it should be all good. But let's get this diff in, get the prop shaft in, and see what happens. It's the following day and the final update clip for this video. Well, the wheel is on, diff, prop shaft, all of that is in and bolted up. I just had to get a couple of bolts today for bolting up the front of the diff, because it's I need bolts like this essentially. Unfortunately it's a hex Allen key, that's the only ones they had in stock in our local shop. The reason I needed those because this is an S14 diff, and the mounting on it is different to an S13. There's a question about ABS sensor, but I haven't measured it. Even though the diameter of the sensor is different, it seems like the internal side and the spacing is all the same, so hopefully the ABS will continue functioning. If not, ABS delete, because I had a look and I cannot find any ABS sensors for an S14 diff, and the one on my diff that I had in the car was broken, so we shall see about that, but that's a problem for another day. I've ordered a few more things. I've ordered the I bought some new second-hand, well they're new but they've never been used, brake lines for the calipers, so they're in the post. The car is looking a bit more civil inside, so I've applied some seam sealer on here. This is where I had to do some welding to the inner sill. The pedals are in. I have to adjust the brake pedal because it's a bit out of place. Somehow it seems a bit bent, but I can sort that easily, no problem. The fuse box is bolted up, connect together with the fuse block thing. Replaced this bracket because I had a spare one in better condition than the one in the car. So stuff is coming together. I'm pretty much at the point where I can put all the four wheels on the car and drop it and start sanding down the bodywork. I'm waiting for the window glass guy to come back to remove the last side window and also the rear window. And yeah, getting way closer to actually working on the bodywork, and I'm in a bit of a time crunch because obviously it's end of the summer, I'm painting outside, I don't know how long this weather gonna last. And another major thing I need to do is repair the boot, which is going to be the next video that I'm going to try to film as much as possible. So that's it for today's update. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. There'll be way more projects like this coming to the channel. I'm always on lookout for another build to do. Obviously we still have the Supra to finish. That's going to be kind of similar to this, I think. Underside restoration, a bit of engine build, loads more stuff coming to the channel. See you in the next one.